My name is Tanyiah Sturgis, and my research project is about dyslexia. What is dyslexia? According to an article, Understanding Dyslexia, dyslexia is a learning disorder that affects someone's ability to read, write, and spell. Students with dyslexia often have a challenging time decoding unfamiliar words or breaking them down into manageable chunks they can sound out. This causes difficulty with reading and writing and spelling. Dyslexia is the most common reading disability all over the world. According to an article, Have We Been Misdiagnosing Dyslexia? It states most people with dyslexia often have a gray area in their brain matter and brain activity in their parietal lobe region of the brain's left hemisphere. What are the signs of dyslexia? A couple signs of dyslexia could be speech delay, trouble following directions, finding it hard to tell their left and rights, also finding it hard to copy down words on a board, and becoming easily frustrated when it comes to reading and writing. Students will also show signs of dyslexia outside of school, like struggling to understand rules in a game, trouble decoding logos and signs quickly, and struggling to tell time and get the hang of it. It can be very easy for a parent or an educator to not see these signs because a child will try to hide these signs because they sometimes feel embarrassed or frustrated. Does dyslexia affect the child's social life? According to the article Understanding Dyslexia, the author states a dyslexic person who has hard finding difficulties can have trouble with their expressive language. That they also state that has a social impact in addition to a child's difficulties with reading and writing that makes a child not feel so good about themselves. The stress and anxiety associated with learning with dyslexia can also affect a child's mood and behavior and misunderstandings and conflict with their peers. Children with dyslexia also often have low self-esteem because they feel like there is something wrong with them and often feel isolated in society with their peers. How does someone get diagnosed with dyslexia? If a parent feels like their child is showing the signs of dyslexia and want to get them tested, the first step is to talk to their educator at the time. The school can perform an evaluation and share the results with the parents. If the evaluation tests your child, the evaluation will test your child's intellectual capacity and reading skills if there is a achievement gap. It should also rule out other potential causes like environmental factors or hearing impairment, according to the article Understanding Dyslexia. It is crucial for a parent to get their child tested at an early age if they are showing symptoms of dyslexia so they can have the proper resources to ensure that they achieve in school. The best time to get a child tested is around third grade because that is when a child starts to learn how to fluently read. How, as a parent, can they help a child with dyslexia? According to a website, Cleveland Clinic, it states, it is important to remember that dyslexia is not something that your child can control. Be patient and be supportive. The encouragement and backing a parent can provide can be a boost a parent child's needs as they learn how to manage their dyslexia. It can also help them feel less anxious and afraid about reading related activities. A parent must also read with their child often to make sure they read. A parent must also read with their child often and make sure they read out loud to them oftenly. When a parent encourages their child to read at home, this can help them work on their reading skills at school. This knowledge helps parents provide the proper support for their child. A parent can also help their child by advocating for them and developing an IEP plan, individualized education plan. An IEP document sets the personalized expectations and lesson plans for a child in school. What are the causes of dyslexia? Well, there's not really too much of a cause, but this is what some scientists have thought it would be. Genetics plays a big part According to the website Cleveland Clinic, it states a child with one parent with dyslexia has a 30 to 50% chance of inheriting it. Genetic conditions like Down syndrome can also make dyslexia more likely to happen. Also, DYXC1 gene. This gene plays a massive role in the brain process and brain development. It may affect how the brain processes written and spoken languages, leading to difficulties decoding words and recognizing phonemes. Phonemes. I can't even pronounce it. According to the website Cleveland Clinic, it states disruption in the brain and function. Infections, toxic exposure, and other events can disrupt a fetal development and increase the odds of later development in dyslexia. Certain infections during a woman's pregnancy or child's early childhood could affect brain development. For example, maternal infection can develop a fetal brain that potentially can influence areas involved in and reading and language and dyslexia. How is dyslexia misunderstood? According to the journal Misdiagnosing Dyslexia, the author states one reason so many diagnoses are missed is that thousands of schools in the U.S. continue to use irrit- irritation of the disparity model to test children for learning disabilities. For multiple reasons, including biases and IQ tests and disproportionate number of those diagnosed and helped have been white and middle upper classes. Many low income schools will not take a student seriously or even take the time to get a child tested because they do not have the right resources to get a child tested. Meanwhile, in upper class schools, they have the right resources and testing to help a child with dyslexia with their needs and to help them achieve in school. How is dyslexia misunderstood? Continued. Parental support in low income schools faces challenges such as limited time and resources to help their child's education at home. This impacts the overall effectiveness of a child with dyslexia. Talking about how the differences in low income schools highlights the importance of equal access to educational resources and support of all students, no matter what their common economic background. Professional development is also a big problem in low income schools. Teachers have fewer opportunities for professional development to learn about the strategies and interventions for supporting a student who has dyslexia or a student who shows the signs of dyslexia. How is dyslexia viewed in black communities? According to Winston in the Clearwater in in the article, How Difficult Can This Be? According to Winston, here historically, we don't talk about learning disabilities and mental health in the black community because there is a stigma, shame attached to it, says Winford Winston, a Baltimore mother who hosts a black dyslexic podcast. Enslaved people cannot show any signs of weakness or perceived weakness, so we have a history of being okay when we are in fact not okay and do require assistance. In black communities, resources like access to diagnosed services and educational support are limited to underfunded schools and communities. This impacts the identification, which is extremely important for managing dyslexia within a child. A lot of black households are not sensitive to unique experiences in their child and will often call their child dumb or slow when they do not understand in school like they did. Misunderstanding also diminishes a child's confidence and they will often shut down when they do not understand because they are afraid and scared of being called dumb. But there is also much support in a lot of black communities that support their child and trying to raise awareness for dyslexia. Organizations all over black communities are working to ensure that students receive all the necessary support to succeed academically. As a future educator, how can I support a student with dyslexia? According to the website Understanding Dyslexia, the author states dyslexia can result in frustration and embarrassment, advocates, and low self esteem as a result of difficulties performing tasks that seem to come naturally for others. Manifesting the learning disorders which your child can help them develop the tools and resilience necessary to manage it, both in school and in social circumstances. I can also tailor my teaching methods to meet a student's needs in the classroom. I can use multisensory teaching methods to also help the child process information more efficiently. I can also offer alternative ways for a student to demonstrate their understandings, like oral presentation or visual representations instead of just making them do written tests. I will always I will always give a child positive reinforcement no matter what. According to the article Understanding Dyslexia, acknowledging their effort and celebrate challenging work even if there are still mistakes. For example, I know how difficult that reading homework was. I'm so proud of how hard you tried. Conclusion. I learned that I'm not alone. When writing this paper, I learned that I'm not alone and I'm not dumb just because I do not understand certain words. Researching and writing this paper helped me realize that I might have dyslexia, so I can understand how a child is feeling. I can give them the resources and teaching methods I had to teach myself to succeed academically. As a black woman, no one took me seriously when I told them I don't know how to spell or pronounce certain words because I was such a good reader. Dyslexia comes in many shapes and forms, and it's very important to pay attention to all your students, no matter how big your class size is. You do not want any child suffering in silence like I did when I was in school. I know anybody can be successfully academic no matter what their learning disability they might have. Look at me. I graduated high school with my associate's degree at 17. I will graduate college early and have my own classroom before I am even 21. If I did it, anyone with dyslexia can do it. You are remember I messed that up. Remember, your learning disability does not define who you are. Thank you. And references. Thank you so much.